Hello and welcome, everybody. My name is Miki Speer. I am so grateful that you are here for our very special episode all about healing for the holidays. We have an amazing musical guest tonight, Julie, my personal friend, as well as Nikki. And she is going to be talking to us about the loss of her mom, the book that she wrote, her journey, and all about that and healing for the holidays. Now, we know that this season is different. Not only are a lot of us experiencing extra grief around the holidays, but the very things that made us excited to maybe get past some of those grief emotions and we say, okay, well, at least I still have this, even if I don't have them. A lot of those are gone this year. And that's absolutely something we have to talk about because all of it requires healing. And that's why we have this quick half an hour show called The Healing Half, where we get to learn about our own wounds and how we can dress them and get them healthy, but as well as how we can help others during this time. So if you haven't yet, head on over to the comments section. I'm going to put my info. One of the things that if you sign up for my email list, not only will you get a replay of the show, all the links to my musician, my guest, everything that we talk about today will be in that email. But you'll also get your free copy of My Heart Still Remembers. And this is really important. This is only going to be free until the end of the year. And if you prefer a hard copy, it's going to stop being on sale after the holidays too. So if any part of you is like, I could use a little bit of help processing my grief, head on over, get your free copy or buy one off at Amazon. Or wait for the new year. No matter what, I want to meet you where you're at. And you might be saying, who is this Miki chick? Who are you? And if you know me, say hello. It's great to see you here. But I wanted to quickly introduce myself. My name is Miki Speer. I am a musician, author, and talk show host of tonight's show. When I was 13, my mom passed away from cancer. And I spent the better part of a decade totally avoiding feeling. In fact, my most recent blog post, which I can share with you too if you want, was called My First Christmas Motherless. And I went into detail about how I literally pretended everything was fine. I avoided the obvious elephant in the room as much as possible because my body just wasn't there. Well, that stage of shock, denial, whatever you want to call it, lasted for a really long time. And I tried so hard to convince myself that I was going to be okay. But eventually, emotional issues ran out of the kazoo. It was so bad. And I eventually had to face the fact you cannot outrun grief. And so I wanted to start a show now that I've been through lots and lots of counseling, read countless books about where we can learn, as I mentioned earlier, how do we address the emotions that we feel, be it grief, disappointment, fear, anything else, as well as how do we help others in situations that we don't quite understand. So welcome tonight. It is so great to have you. And again, if there's any topics you want me to talk about, I'm planning well into the spring for next year. So send me a message with like, hey, I'd love for someone to come talk about this or that. And we will start getting going with our show. So hello, it is so good to see all of you. Sue, thank you for sharing about your dad in the comment section. I am so sorry for your loss. Everybody give Sue some love. That's why we're here, is for community to be together. And I really am excited for you to hear these two things that I've got coming. So without further ado, please welcome my friend from Song Camp, Julie.
Hello, so nice to be here. Thank you for having me. Very special. I'm so proud of you and all your hard work for getting all this coordinated and off the ground. You've done a fabulous job.
Thank you so much. It means the world. So for those of you who don't know, I'm a songwriter. Julie's a songwriter, and we met in Nashville 2 summers ago now at a song camp there. And it was such a blast. And we got to really know each other. We kind of stayed in touch since then. And so Julie, I'll kind of pass the mic to you. Do you mind telling us a little bit more about songwriting and the song that you're about to share with us?
Yes, this song is very special to me. I wrote it after a special friend of mine passed, and it was very inspired as a result of his passing. I felt like, I felt like he really led the way. And it just is a reminder for people that are hurting right now, especially, that when you lose somebody, when you listen differently, you can still feel their presence. And so that's the basis of what I wrote. It's called You've Gone. Hidden in the meadow, underneath the leaves, is the song you gave me, so I go to earth's reprieve. Underneath the ocean, rolling in the tide, love's devotion, I know you're still mine. So I go, and love's still there, and I stay for love's repair. And I know I feel you there, though you've gone. I can feel your eyes upon me, and my heart gets open wide. Oh, I miss the tender presence of the love real by my side. Oh, the depths of you enfold me, and I wonder where you are. I consider all life's givings underneath the stars. So I go, and love's still there, and I stay for love's repair. And I know I feel you there, though you've gone. Oh, 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 so I go, and love's still there, and I stay for love's repair. And I know I feel you there, though you've gone.
Wow, Julie, beautiful. Thank you so very much for sharing your gifts.
Thank you. It was my pleasure. And I wish everyone, that all the listeners, the best. And I'll be praying for y'all.
Oh, you're such a sweetheart. Thank you. Thank you. So for those of you who, you're going to see my cats in the background, so enjoy that sideshow. Oh my gosh. But Julie, thank you so much for sharing your gift. For those of you who didn't know, I did put her contact info in the comment section. So if you don't mind, if you are on Instagram, head over to her page and give her a like. We always want to support musicians who are just writing songs that are so beautiful like Julie's did now. And I think it's so fitting for tonight. I thought her lyrics were beautiful and on point. So if you enjoyed her song, let her know in the comments. Make sure you like the page. And if you believe music heals, you are in the right spot, my friend, because we have so much more where that came from. So, Julie, thank you endlessly for being here. You are more than welcome to come onto the show anytime. Our next guest needs no introduction, but I'll do it anyways. Was connected with me by a friend named Annie, who you guys maybe seen on the show a couple times, and she said, "Miki, you've got to meet Nickie." And all it took was one phone call with me being like, "Hey, do you want to be on the show?" for me to totally understand why. So, Nickie, welcome to Nickie and Miki tonight.
Hi. Hi. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for being on the show. Do you mind just kind of, I know this is a big question, but kind of just starting from the top, why are you here?
Wow. Well, I'm here to talk about my beautiful mother, whose name is Sue or Susan. I see we have a couple of Susans in the chat, and so that feels like my mom is here. So I wanted to talk about my mom. I'd love to talk about the holiday season, and especially this year is extra crazy for everyone. And I want to talk about your cats because they are amazing and I love them. Let me tell you a little bit about my mom, because that's actually how we got connected. Miki is through, well, the first time I ever saw you was actually before today. I saw you, and this sounds stalkery, but it's not.
That's life.
Both Miki and I are a part of something called She Climbs Mountains, which is a motherless daughter support group here in the Twin Cities area. I urge you to check out this resource, because it's unbelievable. But Miki sang during our Mother's Day brunch. It was virtual this year, and so that's how I sort of was introduced to you. And then our friend Andrea connected us. And I was like, wait, I actually kind of know who Miki is. So that was
small world.
It really is. I love it when stuff like that happens. I don't really believe that that's a coincidence. I believe that I was supposed to meet you. And then when we talked on the phone for forever, which, by the way, I hate talking on the phone. And I was like, oh, this girl is so amazing. So anyway, I'll talk to you on the phone anytime.
Yeah, I would love that.
Okay. So my mom is Sue or Susan or Suze, but never Susie. She would be very upset if you ever called her that. And she passed away unexpectedly in February of 2016. So we're coming up on about 5 years, which is a pretty big milestone. She passed away from she had a blood clot in her lung, which we were unaware of. She was in the hospital, for which I am incredibly grateful. At the time that she passed, she was actually in the hospital, but she was scheduled to be released the next day. So that's what I mean when I say it was like my mom died unexpectedly, even though she was being cared for. The last thing, luckily, I was with her the night before she died. And so we got to just chat and talk and say, I love you. But I was supposed to, she said, call me when you wake up in the morning and we'll figure out, how my discharge out of the hospital. So that was and still is pretty devastating when I think about it. I'm an only child. My mom and I had the typical mother-daughter issues. I'm not going to pretend like everything was sunshine and rainbows, but we were very, very, very close. So her loss has been tremendous.
Oh my God.
Yeah, especially right now, especially during the holiday season.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. Well, yeah, thank you so much for your story. And I think that's, like you said, even though it was like, oh, she was in the hospital, like you should like kind of think of that. If you're not expecting it, it's still sudden. And one of the phrases that I love to use on the show is, whether you know it's coming or you accidentally step on the track, it still hurts to get hit by a train, right?
Right.
And so I am so sorry for your loss. And I know obviously having lost a mom, but it's different though too, because I was a kid and you were an adult. So I was kind of wondering, could you talk a little bit about losing a parent as an adult and maybe some of the stereotypes that are just not true surrounding that? Because I mean, there's a thing called sympathy privilege, and I don't even need to get into it, but because my mom died when I was a kid, I immediately get, not that I want these like bonus points, but people are like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And then I just feel like when adults have losses, it's not met with that same sympathy, even though it's like you said, like your foundational person is gone.
Right. Especially if the person dies of, just old age. I think, so I was 40 when my mom died. So you would sort of assume that I'd have it all together. I have nothing together, everyone. I don't think anybody does. Can we just say that? No one has anything figured out.
Amen in the comment section if you agree with that.
Amen. It felt similar to when my parents died, if I could just go on a bit of a tangent on that. So my parents, did I say my parents died? Divorced is what I meant.
That's okay.
My dad, hi Dad, who does not have Facebook or a computer. My dad is alive and well. Sorry. My parents divorced when I was 19, and I had known from a very young age that they should probably get a divorce. I don't go around being like, it's not working out, get a divorce. That's not what I'm saying, but it was never good. So even though I was expecting my parents to get a divorce, when it happened, it was still awful. And I remember telling people, and they, I feel like everyone really has their heart in the right place, but it was very much like, oh, weren't you expecting that? Yeah, but it was still awful, And so getting back to my mom, again, I think people want to be comforting and loving because people love you. People love me. People hate to see others hurting, but we end up saying some pretty insensitive things. My mom had been in poor health with various ailments for her entire life, really since she was a kid. And so a lot of well-meaning people would say things like, oh, thank God she's not hurting anymore. It's like, yes, oh, yes, thank God that she's not hurting anymore, of course. But also, this really sucks and is super duper painful. And I wish that you would have just said, and I actually have a whole blog post about this, I wish that you would have just said, I love you. Instead of trying to anticipate how I'm feeling or how my mom's feeling. My mom's probably pretty good because I believe that she is either in heaven or she's good. She's happy, But I just think that we want to say these platitudes to help other people, but sometimes it ends up hurting, or people might say something like, thank God you have Paul, and Paul is my unbelievable husband. To which I say, yes, thank God I have Paul, because it would be very, very difficult without him. But just because I have Paul, just because I have amazing friends, doesn't mean that it's not awful. At 13, that's when your mom died, right, Miki? Yeah, or at 40, or even if you're in your 60s or 70s and your parents are in their 90s and it's for the best, it's still incredibly painful. And that's why I'm so grateful to you and your show and this group, She Climbs Mountains, because we need resources like this so that we can openly talk about our pain and our grief, because the only way out is through, right?
Oh! The only way out is through. And Nikki, I just want to kind of ask Yeah, kind of a follow-up question. As an adult who lost their mom, and I know there's people on this call, I mean, I'm so grateful each and every one of you are here, as well as people who are gonna watch the replay. I mean, what's statistically, you are going to lose a parent before you pass away. What are some of the things as an adult, and you kind of touched on this, where obviously we shouldn't say things like, well, at least this or at least that. Just
Yeah, let's
just
take
get
at
rid of
least like out. But if you're about to start a sentence with at least, let's not.
Yep, let's just stop.
Let's train
So,
ourselves to not do that.
right. So kind of just like let's just like kind of crack open the hood a little bit, and I want to kind of dive in. What was like the specific themes? And I hope this doesn't get too emotional. If not, we can or if it does, we can absolutely switch topics.
I am
We cry on
prepared.
the show. We cry on the show all the time.
Yeah, I'm a crier, so let's just go for it.
Like as a 40-year-old, what were you still looking forward to doing or experiencing with your mom? And the reason why I ask this is it's just good for me to know, because I will never know what it's like as a 40-year-old to lose a mom. But I will probably, I mean, love you, Dad. But I know he would like me to bury him, right? So it's like I know one day I will lose a parent, and I am so close with my dad. So I'm kind of curious, like, can you put to words like specifically what you were grieving when your mom died as an adult? That a lot of people probably are like you said, those stupid platitudes. They just like, oh, well, blah.
Gosh, I was looking forward to everything with her. We loved to travel together. We didn't do it all that often, but we were always talking about where should we go next. And I was looking forward to traveling with her. I was looking forward to, I love shopping with my mom. That was the thing that we did. She was talking about getting a dog. The jury's still out on whether or not that would have been a good idea, and I suppose it doesn't matter at this point. But she was really excited to get a dog, and so Paul and I were talking about how we could help her find a dog, and she had just bought her own condo. It was the first time that she had ever purchased property, and so she was maybe 62 or 63 when she finally had her own property, and so we talked about like just redecorating and just getting the furniture that she wanted, and those things seem little at the time, but then when the person is gone and you're like, oh, we're not going to go to IKEA and pick out dressers, and that's sad. Or I am a musical theater performer, and my mom was always at every opening night of my professional career. And so I've now gone through 3 opening nights without her. I'm going to sidetrack again for a second and tell you this thing that my mom used to do that was really, really special to me. So when I was a little girl, my mom had this charm bracelet, and it's like the silver charm bracelet, and it had just little charms that where she went when she traveled when she was younger, or things that she did, like 4-H or Girl Scouts or something like that. And I was obsessed with this charm bracelet as a child. And for my very first professional opening night, my mom bought me a charm bracelet with a little charm on it. It had a cheerleader on it because I was playing a cheerleader in my first professional show at the Chanhassen Dinner Theater. And so she
got married there.
Wait, you did? No way.
Yeah.
Okay, see,
it wasn't on the stage. It was like a separate room. But yeah, we are so connected. Gotta love Chanhassen Dinner Theater. But sorry, keep going.
No, I love that. I love little connections with people. So it was my first show, and she got me a bracelet with a charm on it. And then for every opening night, she sent me a bouquet of flowers and a charm for my charm bracelet. And this is something that I shared with my friends every time. I was like, look what my mom got me. And one of my dear friends, Maureen, has continued the tradition for me. So I've still been getting these charms on opening night. So I don't know what I was talking about, but
no, I'm crying either way. I love it.
Yeah,
I love
amazing.
It.
Yeah.
What did I was, and you answered it. You did a great job. I was kind of asking for those of you just joining. Welcome. I was asking about how, as an adult, like what you were looking forward to, and what I loved so much about your story was just, again, it's those mundane, seemingly things. It's truly one of the things I wish everybody knew is you think you're going to be grieving things like massive, big things. And yeah, those are really hard, like weddings and big show openings. Like those are really tough. But it's also just being in a relationship with someone. It's the phone calls. It's the just complaining to complain, or calling to complain about the neighbor.
I gotta complain
Like,
about this thing. Yeah.
so I'm so sorry for your loss. Your mom sounded awesome. I can't wait to meet her one day.
You
And
will.
yeah, absolutely. And I just love that we're talking about adult loss with parents, because I think, as we kind of mentioned, because so many people go through it, they kind of assume we should be good at it and it's not that big of a deal. But that's not true at all. So I know you obviously have so many other things we could absolutely talk about, but I want to kind of plug you because you are a fantastic individual. So
Thank you.
that said, you lost your mom at 40.
Yes.
Devastating. Obviously, this is an awareness show, and we are trying to just get the word out. So what have you done with that loss that everybody on the show should know about?
I'm glad that you asked. Well, I just happen to have a copy here of my book. I gotta figure out this camera. Things I'm thinking about. You can buy it on Amazon. And I self-published this book in January of this year, mostly as a challenge to myself, just to do it. I was pretty quiet about it. This book is literally the first half of it. Oh my gosh, I can't figure out this camera. I'm so sorry, everyone. The first half of it is literally lists, like me processing my grief. And I did most of that on Facebook. I do not know why I did that. I think it was a way for me to just let friends and family know what was going on. At first, it was a way to say, hey, my mom died. Hey, we're having a service. Hey, this is happening. And then it just turned into my thoughts. And so that's what the whole first half of this book is just lists of my thoughts. And most of them have to do with my mom's passing. Some things are sad. Some things are hilarious. Some things are anger. Like, for example, when I found out how much debt my mom was in. So when my mom passed away, there was a will, but there weren't any other kind of directives. I didn't know what to do. And because I'm an only, the responsibility fell on me and my husband, Paul. And so there's a lot of anger in here too, of being like, how can you have this much debt right this second? And which now, of course, in retrospect, there's no shame in that. But I was so angry in the moment of having to deal with this and hire a lawyer because I couldn't handle it. And some of it is imagining like what I would say to her if I still could. And then the rest of it is mostly blog entries. I did start a blog to deal specifically with my debt, or with my mom's death, and that's on NikkieCremingahill.com. And then I'm also writing, just a little plug, I'm writing a second book right now, and it is really, really in the beginning stages. I do have a publisher this time, so I'm incredibly excited about that. And I hope to have it into the publisher by March. And it's tentatively called Feel It to Heal It. And it will be a workbook, I'm pretty sure. Essentially, it's about giving ourselves the permission to take the time to heal. And Miki, you talk a lot about the first year or two where, and granted, you were a young person, but you talk about, I just was like, yep, everything's great, everything's fine. And I feel like that's a normal response for all of us to trauma, whatever our trauma is. We just bury it so that we can keep going, because in the moment it feels like it's so much easier to just not deal. I don't have time for this. I have XYZ to do. But what ends up happening is that we can't keep suppressing. We will boil over. And And I mean, like, it's going to happen. Sometimes that looks like violence. Sometimes that looks like some type of distraction, either, you know, alcohol or sleeping is what I do to distract. I have a friend who reads to distract. But as you say, and as we all know, it will always catch up to you. And so this book is about, A, I see you and I understand why you're dealing or not dealing the way that you are. But B, please, 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 friend, you owe it to yourself and ultimately the people around you to take care of your business. And I think we feel like this is only affecting me. You know, me not dealing with my mom's death or whatever it is, it only affects me. But that's just simply not true. It affects everyone that you live with, even your animals, you know. It affects the people that you work, like your cats. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, shout out to Ace and Duke.
But I mean, so anyway, that's what the second book is about. And although my mother's death will play into that narrative, there's also other things. And you know, just like being in show business. Show business is amazing, and it's also really, 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 really hard living that life. And so yeah, I have no idea what the outcome will be, but I'm so excited to be working on it. So yeah.
None of us ever know what the outcome's going to be. I am so proud of you for doing that. I want to like write a forward for your book. So like, let's be in touch with that because I would be so honored to do that.
Okay, I will.
We'll talk author stuff later. But what I'm just so excited for you on your journey. And for everybody wondering, I've posted her website in the comments a couple times. So for her book, her blog, her organization, like all the stuff that she does, you can find that on her website. So please go check it out. Sign up for, I take it you have an email list?
Yes. Please sign up.
Yep.
Let's
sign up for the email list. You know, I think for both Nikki and I, like you might seem like, it's just an email list, but we put so much time and so much effort. And it's like all these resources being thrown at you. I spend like 2 hours every week on my email that I send out after the show, just because like I want to like make sure it has everything in it. And I'm sure you do the same. So get on the list. What's the worst that could happen? So Nikki, I do want to kind of give you like 1 minute of screen time where you can just do your pitch about the holidays, because you have a perspective of an adult who lost a parent that so many people can relate to. So I just want to give you kind of like your own minute or two to wrap up the show. I'm going to go off screen and let you just take the stage, because you are an actress and I think you're going to be comfortable with that. So I'll come back on when you're done. You just give me like a wink and I'll jump back on.
Okay, I'll go like this. I have 2 things that I'd like to chat with you quickly about for the holiday season. The first is do something to remember your loved one, like someone that you have lost, or especially with COVID. I have this candle that my mom's best friend, this was supposed to be my mother's Christmas gift from her best friend, but the exchange never happened. And so I have this candle at the table during the holidays, just to kind of leave a spot for my mom. So just have something like that out. It doesn't need to be a focal point. It can be in the background, but just glancing at this candle always comforts me. And the second thing, if I could give you a bit of advice, for if you're missing someone, or right now during COVID especially, is to lower your expectations or change your expectations. The holidays are challenging enough, even when we have our family and the people that we love surrounding us. So if you could just lower your expectation a little bit this year, especially with COVID, and just say, like, what's something I can take off my plate? What's the worst thing that's going to happen if I don't get to see my person in person? You know, I can Zoom with them, I can chat with them, but just lower, change your expectations, be open to whatever new traditions might come your way, and be really, really easy on yourself during these challenging times. And that's what I got. Miki, here's your wink.
Oh my I love it. Can you hear me okay? Just want to make sure.
Yeah.
You can hear me, Nikki?
We can
Well,
hear
I
you.
love that. I love that so much. And shameless plug, I've got my son light a candle for me coming out next week. So I love that you have a candle. It's all
There
lining
you
up.
go.
All put up roses. But Nikki, thank you so much. I've got a couple things left for the people listening, but I will
Okay.
let you go. Thank you so much for your
Thank
wisdom,
you.
for
Happy
your
holidays, everybody.
Hi, Nikki. Isn't she amazing, you guys? Oh my Lanta. I am just so blessed to have her and Julia on my show tonight. You couldn't have lined it up better. What a beautiful song, what a beautiful message. And to all of you out there who are hurting this year, I really love what Nikki said. Be easy on yourself. Be kind on yourself. It's okay to be frustrated. It's okay to be a little angry. It's okay to feel whatever you're feeling. But in addition to that, just like her upcoming book title, you got to feel it to heal it, right? And so, again, I just want to remind you guys, if you have not gotten your copy yet of My Heart Still Remembers, you can get it for free on my website. It's a workbook, a lot like what she was talking about, where it's like you fill in the blanks and it's going to walk you through stuff so you don't have to come up with the activities to do. And again, it's on my email list, and it's not going to be on my email list much longer. It's kind of like this, the gift of kind of joining my email list early is that you get a free copy of this. So I just wanted to point that out. If you're on my list, awesome. If you're not, got a couple more weeks to get it, but you can join my email list anytime after that point, as well as buy a hard copy, which is my personal favorite of how to do it, right off of Amazon. And the last thing I wanted to share with you guys is you're invited. Next week on the show, I wanted to recreate what little thing I could surrounding Christmas, surrounding the holidays. And so on the show next week, it's going to be just like this, same spot, same time, same place, same live stream like you're seeing now. But we're going to sing some songs together. Your mics won't be on. You'll just get to sing along with me. I'll have lyrics pop up on the screen so you can sing and just have a little bit of normalcy, because I know so many of us are missing that this year. A lot of us aren't going to be able to go to church and to be able to do all those things that we normally get to do. And between you and I, we know music and singing is actually really therapeutic. So go upstairs, lock the door, and say, don't bother me for 30 minutes. And we're just going to sing. We're going to have interaction in the comments, and we're just going to have a very short message at the end from me. So please invite your friends. I would love for anybody and everybody to come and just sing. It's a very no pressure, low pressure situation. And I'm just really excited for that. So if possible, I will see you guys next week. So thank you so much for being here. I have an outro video that I'm really excited to show you. So stick around for like 2 more seconds. And thank you guys again so much for being here today. Goodbye.